Once upon a time, two boys grew up playing hockey in the village of Terrace, British Columbia. One of them went on to play in the National Hockey League. The other became a comedian. Now, one flies planes and coaches youth hockey. The other is still a comedian and owns news skates. This is their podcast, Enjoying Orange Slices with Jeff and Ian.
I am here with oh my God, my dog's freaking out already. I am here with the boys from Las Vegas Thunder TV on what's it called? It's called what's your station? Crips? Is it called Crips or Chris? What's your guys' station?
You didn't even get the team right.
Never even heard of them. The Golden Knights of San Jose.
What the team's name is, look at the NHL standings and go to the very top.
Yes, that's how you get there, by cheating. You're cheaters. You're all cheaters.
Not right.
I tell you, you're cheaters. That you just the same way you play blackjack with an old lady, cheating.
Really?
Yeah, I always push them around and take their cards.
I never heard that before.
Oh, okay.
You know what?
Apparently I don't know gambling. I don't know the name of your team. Well, let me tell you about hookers.
Don't do that.
No, nothing. We don't even have those.
We
don't have them in Vegas.
We start out the show rough. We end it smoothly, just the same way Jeff flies planes. You don't think you're going to make it, but he just checks it out and just goes, we're going to get there, people. The show is called Enjoying Orange Slices. The boys are Jeff and Darren. My name's Ian Bagg. We talk about hockey and life. We get you excited. We take you down, and then we make you feel good about your week. How are you, fellas?
This morning?
Because you guys decide to start this thing at 8:30, and I go to bed at 6:30.
But it was scheduled for 8:30. You had
I know.
Notice there was still. I understand you being upset that it's 8:30, but you were still late.
Let me just tell you, at 5:30 in the morning, I'm panicking. I got to go to bed. I got to go to bed for this thing, and I'm freaking out. I can't go to sleep. Why? I'm looking at the roof. I shouldn't have ever taken this. Why? My life is going to hell. What the hell? Hold on. Let me let the French bulldog out. Go, Pearl. Go. Oh, my God. Oh my God.
Just an absolute train wreck, this morning. Like,
even the dogs are freaked out. What are we doing up so early?
How are things in Southern California? Are you anywhere near Pasadena? Because that is nasty.
No.
And thinking of everybody that are experiencing that.
It is horrific, but no, I am not near Pasadena. We are probably about 50 miles, 40 miles away, an hour away. We're an hour away from Pasadena. That's how big this place is, that we could basically have fires on the other side of the city and not even know about it. I checked in with John Wynn, who travels with me. He's up in that area and he's fine. So he said it's windy. And yeah, dry and windy, never good, because there's always somebody with a cigarette.
I wonder how it started, this one.
I'm guaranteeing, I'm telling you how it started. Somebody with a cigarette flicked it out the window, and that started. It's that dry, and that I don't know if have you been around palm trees when they've fallen, like when they start to, I don't know, when I guess they're not deciduous. I don't know how they are there, but the fronds, the palm fronds or whatever, get dry and fall. They're like paper, so it takes nothing to get them going.
Yeah, when you have that much wind, though, too, it could be power lines, could be a lot of stuff. So, unfortunate, but hopefully, Cal Fire and local firefighters are getting on top of it. Kind of one of those things when you get the Santa Ana winds, right? It dries it out, it warms it up, but it can be tragic. So,
it gets dry.
Hopefully, everyone's good. Hey, so. I just want to talk about what time we were supposed to start this morning.
Again.
Okay, so I know
8:45 right now, guys.
You tried to take it off into the rhubarb, but I think it kind of shows, like, Lord Bagg, you think you're a pretty big deal, but I think you got trumped by Millard this morning, because Millard's the guy that threw 8:30 out there, and then you just lost your marbles, and here we are.
I said WTF. And you both came back at me hard. You guys are like, shut up, wiener dog. And yeah, here I am up early in the morning. Great. I hope you guys know the rest of my day is screwed.
Well, you should have pounded some Jolt Colas about 6:30 and just
Jolt
taken it right
Cola.
through.
Thanks, Grandpa. Thanks for bringing that up.
Remember
Jolt
those?
Cola.
I don't even
Yeah.
know. Do they even? I
That-
guess they're called Red Bull now, right?
They
That
But,
was
took
our
'em off.
first energy drink, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Jolt Cola.
Yeah, it was like 3 Pepsis in one or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
now
yeah.
now it wouldn't even be 2 sugar cubes compared to a Red Bull.
No, it's a sweetener for Red Bull is what it is.
Right. Yeah.
it's just a mix.
Yeah.
Mix Jolt Cola with Red Bull.
Well, here's my deal. I was up and ready to go, and I had to re-sign in and get everything all set up. That's what took me. That's why it's 5 minutes late. But I did get up. I was up at 7:45 this morning, and I said, okay, these boys want to play. I'll get on their sheet of ice, and here we go.
My favorite part of the morning was when Millard texted you and asked you what time the 8:30 pod started.
At 8:34.
Not at 8:45.
That's 8:34 at 8:34. You guys, oh my God. You guys are like Spirit Airline passengers.
I've already
You guys,
been up.
you guys know the airline shit. It's gonna be late.
No,
I did
the
an
best-
hour already on my pod, and now we're into this, so we're rolling
That's all.
today.
Have you ever been invited onto his pod, Jeff?
We're
No,
3
I think
episodes
that's a
in.
two-man. I think that's a two-man acoustic band. I think it's Millard and John
Oh.
Shannon, and that's way beyond what I can offer. John Shannon's like an encyclopedia, so I would just sit there and listen to him for an hour.
Every so often you got to read an encyclopedia. Go on and just pipe up and
Did
just
you guys
ask a
have
question.
encyclopedias?
Absolutely. Oh, you mean at school we did? We didn't have home encyclopedias. You had a home encyclopedia?
I had a home encyclopedia,
No way.
and it was cool. I actually used them. I would just peruse them every now and then, look stuff up, and it was awesome. I loved having the encyclopedias at home.
You know what they say about the difference between the internet and the encyclopedia was when having the encyclopedias, you're still 5 to 10 years behind things. Whereas the internet, you are up to date right now. Like they're giving you today's information. That's the difference. So we were smart, but we were dumb, right? We weren't like forced new information every time. Like if you went to the encyclopedia, that's the information you were getting probably for the next 5 years.
You just
Oh.
stepped on my proudness of having the
Yeah.
encyclopedia. Just stomped on me.
You know what I did? I was the internet. You were the encyclopedia. You were 5 years behind.
Hey Millard, he's coming after you after he came through security and running for the gate so we could get off the gate with his shoes and his belt in his hand going, I'm trying to catch the 8:30 flight. Then he was mad when it left.
Sharples,
So-
do you come out of the cockpit and glare at the passenger that's running and is the final person that you've had to hold the plane for?
No, that's life. Everybody, you never know what could have happened. Could have been traffic. Could have been they got random searched. Whatever. I mean, we don't see. Here's the thing. I'd love to go out and fly around. It's just my buddies, but that doesn't pay very well. So they're just like family. Sometimes people come a little bit late for Thanksgiving dinner, so we just wait, and then we all eat together. So.
Like, have I ever told you guys about the time I was on a plane with Jimmy Carter?
No.
It was pretty fantastic. It was out of Atlanta. It was I think it was what was the plane that they flew with the jet engine in the middle? It was on the tail.
727.
No,
Or
it was a big, it was
L1011?
massive. It was massive.
Okay, L1011 or DC10.
Probably it was one of those. So it was massive.
What
So it was,
airline?
Delta, and it was I think it was 2 or 3 on the side and then a group of 4 in the middle for seats.
Yeah, I would guess Delta. I would say L1011, Lockheed. I think it was Lockheed Douglas, but people that flew those just absolutely loved them. And what a great airplane to sit in the back on. So that's my guess.
It was massive,
mean?
but it
Why was it good to sit in the back on?
was massive.
Well, just because it was it was very comfortable is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Not in the very back, but I'm talking
It
behind
didn't
the
make
flight deck.
it didn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense to me how they could have them like it was tail, and then it was motor, and then it was tail again. It just always looked like the it was going to fall off at the back. That was the only thing that was
I don't think they made that announcement.
Yeah, yeah. Well. Anyway, so we get on the plane, and this old man starts shaking everybody's hand, walking around, just like walking from person to person, shaking their hand, telling them thank you for being them. It's Jimmy Carter. He's shaking everybody's hand on the plane, right? And the pilot comes over and says, "If Jimmy Carter will sit down, we can take off."
No way. Was he serious?
Yes, he was absolutely serious. I guess he did he would fly out of there all the time, and he would shake everybody's hand on the plane, right? He would and they're like, "We got to get out of here." And we're on a big plane, and he's trying to do 374 people's hands. Sit down, Jimmy. And then some lady yelled out, "Jimmy Carter, you're the best of all times." I remember that. And the guy beside me goes, "Calm down."
Wow.
And it was just like, oh my God, this is fantastic. It was so much fun.
And then they're like, hey, would the 6'4" comedian that's handing out his business card behind Jimmy, would he sit down too? Hey, I could just see you sitting there thinking, maybe I should get up and give some fist pumps.
I was giggling. I was just like a kid in a candy store, just sitting there. People heckling him, people yelling at him. That was great. I was like,
that the airplane where the ramp would come down in the tail? Like you could get on and off the airplane?
No, it was bigger than that. It was like a 747, like the size of a 747.
Because that was the DB Cooper plane, was the ramp went down the tail, and
that would have been great if that was the one, and Jimmy Carter just ran out the back as we're landing.
Went over to the next gate and got on that airplane, started shaking everybody's hand over there.
I'll be back, America.
Jolt Cola, created in 1985. It was a carbonated soft drink with high caffeine content that's considered to be the first energy drink. It had double the amount of other colas at the time of caffeine.
Yeah.
So
it was marketed as a stimulant for students and young professionals. Students and young professionals.
That's hilarious.
That's impressive.
I had no idea I was a young professional.
Because I certainly wasn't a student.
I wasn't a student. There's no way. And I love that. It's also that information, 5 years old. It's from an encyclopedia.
What were you going to say? Encyclopedias, and I was so proud of them for doing that, and happy. I legitimately went through and used them.
That's awesome.
I have no idea where they are now.
Well, you can't teach history, but you can definitely learn from it, Millard, and that's what you did. So good job. And say, what's it, Britannia? What was the name of that? Britannica. There you go.
Is it Britannica?
Yeah. Yeah.
I know where they are. They're probably in Manitoba, holding up one side of a trailer.
They could hold up both sides of the trailer.
There were a lot of them. I was going to say there was a lot of them. You could use them as cinder blocks.
They used to have encyclopedia salespeople.
Guy with a wheelbarrow going door to door.
Yeah, basically.
You want to buy all these books?
And
oh my God!
Like everybody knew what an encyclopedia was, but he still had to carry that case to every door.
And serial killers were so much easier to find back then because they had books with them. Just going door to door, murdering people. Hey, which delivery service from old times do you think would be awesome today?
Not vacuum.
What?
The milk. I mean, I guess the milkman still happens, right? The milk.
Does it?
I think you can, like, I mean, you can get water delivered. I think about it this way, like you get your groceries delivered. So I guess the milk could be in with that, but
they would leave the milk in the front step, and it could sit there for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Before you got home, and it was fine.
Yeah. One of the houses we just looked at just had a door for the milkman, like a little tiny door that you opened that you put the milk in.
And now
it's like a mailbox.
That was an
Yeah,
Amazon.
yeah. I didn't even think about you could use it as an Amazon door. That's awesome.
What other? Well, I always wanted to be a pizza delivery person.
Why? Because of all the pornos you watched as a child through your Encyclopedia Britannica.
Maybe.
Hey, pizza. Brum, 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 brum.
Mine had a higher tone to it. Bing dong.
Pizza. Oh, I thought your voice. That was your. I thought it was your voice. You still you hadn't cracked yet. Hey, everybody, pizza.
I always wanted to be a pizza. My twin brother got to be a pizza delivery guy, and
No way.
he seemed to like it. Driving around in the Hyundai Pony.
Oh, that's funny. I was going to say Chevy Chevette.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
That was a Pizza Hut delivery truck when we were kids. I used to see those. When you see those, you go, pizza's coming.
And it was Pizza Hut, and like our car just smelled like pizza.
No
nonstop.
way.
So you just get it. You get in the morning going to school, and you'd be like, "I'm hungry."
And he'd have one in the back that didn't get picked up. That's
It's
actually a great,
frozen, -40.
that's a great air
You-
freshener.
You're using it for weight, kitty litter, and sand, and a pizza in the back for weight.
Yeah, he probably had a couple sandbags in the back, right? That he was putting the pizzas on, driving them around.
We had tons. What did you guys use for weight? We used sandbags, and kitty
Dogs.
litter. And because kitty litter is good because if you ever got stuck,
If you got stuck.
you could sprinkle it out. So it was good for weight and grip. If you ever got stuck.
Yeah. But your car would be less weight, so you'd still be stuck. It was a catch-22.
What delivery person would you guys like to be?
Oh, B. Amazon.
Because you don't have
Amazon.
to talk to anybody.
No, just because I think you get to see where everything comes from, and it's just like the things that people get are pretty crazy. And also, I love all the videos. I watch the videos online from Ring cameras. There's some where people leave snacks out and stuff, and then others where they slip on stuff, and then where the guy delivers to the wrong place, and then he has to come back and apologize and take it away. Oh, I love all those things.
You sit there and watch Ring camera videos.
Yes, on YouTube, I'll find Ring camera videos of Amazon delivery guys screwing up.
I'm
So many
impressed
of the trucks just driving away without the guy in them.
I'm impressed we got to start at 8:34 today, and because after listening to this,
You know, I was up to 5:30 a.m.
exactly.
Why are your eyes so bad?
Actually, you usually have your phone closer to your face than that, but that
Nice comes in hard from the top rope. Somebody watched Raw on Monday night on Netflix.
Lord Bagg does have a phone issue.
He does.
Well, that could be, or that he was wearing those Coke bottle glasses he has with the tint on them, and he was having a hard time looking through them. But
I do have a
been there
phone
many
issue.
nights. Been there many nights when the hockey or the NHL network's on the loop, and I got to get up the next morning. I'm like, okay, LB, I got to punch out and get up for a drink of water about 2 a.m. I'm like, oh, I forgot to turn the TV off. No, he's still out there watching. 4
That's
a.m.
when I-
Oh,
the
there
problem-
he is. Hey, and I'm on my way out the door, and he's like, see ya. So
The problem is the phone is how I make the money. Right? So let's just say where you make your money is also there's entertainment involved, and the entertainment is connected to my money. So I can be doing something, and then all of a sudden I'm looking at something, and it pulls me away from making money. I'm like, what is this? And suddenly I'm in a I'm down a rabbit hole, and I'm
How
like,
does the
oh, I got to
phone
get
make you money.
well, I'm putting up videos and putting up my dates and all sorts of like all my social media and my that's how it makes me money, right?
Mhm.
So I'm looking at stuff, and when you're looking at stuff, it's also a snack bar there, and you're like, oh God, next thing you know, you're in line for the snack
Squirrel.
bar. Yeah, and I have this brain, never good. So I need encyclopedias. That would put me to sleep on time every night.
that's right. Get Millard's family to ship them down to you.
I can do it in the spring because we still need it for weight.
We
We
need
got to get through the winter.
your brother's got pizzas delivered.
It's in my dad's scooter.
No
He's
way.
using it for weight.
He's got A to C in his scooter.
Yeah. What do you
So,
think of Nikki Glaser's performance?
She's great. She's a nice girl. She's a great comedian. And you're happy to see somebody do well. I guess she already got it for next year, right? She's going to do it again next year. I loved Ricky Gervais doing it because he was so acid tongue, it'd just make me laugh in the morning. She's still kind of nice, when she does. She doesn't slam anybody too hard. So
You had a couple of good zingers.
yeah, but at the same time, she's still too nice. Like Gervais just leaves bodies lying on the floor.
Like scorched earth.
Yeah, just like we're going to town, boys. Brah. Yeah. So, but she does. She's a big star. So, yeah, good for her.
Would you be nervous doing something like that?
Yeah, of course. I'm sure. See, the difference between her and Ricky Gervais is he's at a point he doesn't give a shit.
Right.
Like
And that's what
he's
allows him to be funny. Well,
yeah,
he's already funny. He's
right.
very talented, but
It lets him step where he steps,
Yeah.
right? I don't care if the ice is thin here. I can see a rope that's going to pull me out because I've done everything. I know where all the ropes are, right?
Yeah.
So where she is still, she's got a fantastic career, but she's got many levels to go still. So
well, how does that work though? Like the kind of walking the line between, because the people at home are howling, but then the people that he's taken down don't like it. So trying to find the right person to do that. And I love Ricky Gervais. I think he's hilarious too. But how do they land on that person that's right? Because they're going to hear it from the
Will
establishment.
Smith opened up the door for anybody to not slap you, but to give you their opinion on what they thought of the joke about them.
yeah, but I also think Will Smith opened up the door for guys getting cracked back. You know what I mean? He happened to pick a guy that's nice enough and small enough that, and he wouldn't ever, I guarantee Chris Rock would never ever thought that would happen, right? Now, somebody walks on stage, most comedians aren't pansies. So there's an actor is gonna get, thumped, someone's gonna get thumped back, It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun. It's turned it into the WWF. And then like the next Academy Awards, you're just gonna see everybody come out with cauliflower ears after all the WW after all the
If you make fun of somebody, do you have to go after the joke after, like at the after party or at some point, and touch base with them and say, "Hey, hope you're okay with that"? Because it's not a roast. It's not at a roast.
Well,
The shots are coming. At
right.
something like that.
But I heard Brady was like completely up, like he was mad afterwards. Like that's what I heard
like
about
a couple
it.
of things.
Yeah, but you've handed it over at that point.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
and I don't understand how you can be mad, right? So it's I wouldn't ever get roasted. Like if you get roasted, you're going to the core, and I don't know if I could take myself all the way down to the beams without falling apart. So yeah, I don't know. I've done lots of shows where the people have been in the room, and you know, you try to make them laugh as well, right? If you can make them laugh as well, it's different. Um,
The
and
fine line
and
between being mean and being funny.
yeah, yeah. Well, do you ever watch the old roasts?
Yes.
I find them funnier than the new roasts. I find the new roasts, they're trying to actually hurt somebody, whereas the old roasts, they are trying to make their buddy laugh as he's being taken down. And I think the difference is a little bit, I think for the most part, a lot of those people were comedians that knew that person. Like they'll have people on the panels that know that person, but they won't be comedians, right? The comedians
Yes.
will all be like 3 steps away from being that person's friend. So whereas on the old roast, they're all kind of buddies hanging out.
A lot of
Well,
inside jokes that you could tell.
Yeah.
Over, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you
But you're
think a lot
laughing. You
more?
may not get the whole thing, but you're laughing
Yeah.
because
It's funny the way they're doing it. You know something's going on. So
we should do a
Sorry,
roast of
Jeff.
Sharples.
oh, he would punch
Well,
us
you
in the
tried
head.
taking me down for an hour before we went on the air last night on
I
the
was
radio.
complimenting you. I
Yeah.
talk about how Sharples has a passion for the game
Yeah.
and is just so effusive with his love of our sport, and he talks a lot. And he thought I was like taking him down. I'm like, no, he's just super passionate, and I love being around him. And he played the victim.
I
He played the
know.
victim.
There was definitely a roast, and I guess it felt more like an old roast than a new roast because I don't think there was any maliciousness. But I have to laugh when we're getting ready to do the show, and Mallard's got his headphones on, and I'm over there talking to Nate Ewell or somebody, and he's just going for it.
Because I was on live, I was doing a radio show while you were getting ready for the.
So I
You were
had
doing
no
something else
chance.
and taking him down.
No, it's just hard. Was it Ashley spilled coffee on me or I spilled coffee on Ashley? And
Ashley
you
spilled
know,
coffee on you.
yeah, and then
I just made
I
up
was
a
really
story. I
mad.
just
Never
made up a
happened.
story for the audience about how
That's really
Sharples
funny.
and Ashley are fighting because Ashley spilled coffee on Sharples and didn't apologize.
That's really funny.
Ashley's a
And
saint.
Jeff's white outfit was ruined.
And was ruined. and Jeff's looking at me, what? And I'm just selling it.
That's
like crazy.
really
Like,
great.
yeah, Ashley's
It's very uncomfortable on the set.
accidents happen, but you got to apologize. You have to. And the people that I was working with on the radio show are like, really? She didn't apologize? I'm like, no, didn't even come close to saying sorry.
Oh my God, he should have went further.
Oh, he did.
Well,
Yeah,
she did. She
yeah.
just said, "Welcome, rookie."
He was too busy working on the
Sharples-
next
Sharples
one.
is really good on the TV side. I love working with
You
him.
guys look like you like hanging out. That's what I like about it.
And you watch. That's impressive too. I like sending you pictures of Sharples just randomly getting hooked up to his earpiece and with a staff of 15.
Yeah, it's a
just
little
come out.
different than putting hockey gear on, trying to get everything set up. But it's only two things, a microphone and an earpiece, but it takes me about 45 minutes. So,
It's the same way he got dressed when he played in the NHL. 4 handlers.
yeah. Yeah, I wish.
Did Scotty Bowman do up your skates in Detroit?
No, but he had the best.
ankle.
He had the best training camp speech I've ever heard. I was with me and Randy Burridge were there for my last training camp, and Scotty came in, and they'd been bounced the year before in the first round. And
By San
Kenny
Jose?
Holland, no, this was in Detroit, and
No, but were they bounced by San Jose? Was that the
that
year
could have been, yeah, that could have been when they were bounced by San Jose, and Kenny Holland, one of the best guys ever in pro hockey, was just fuming, but he had to give them the floor over to Scotty to start. And Scotty was talking about practice next year. He says, so, want you to be at the rink half an hour before. So like if we're on the ice at 11, be there at 10:30. Cause I guess guys are wheeling in like at 10:50. And like, so practice is going to start at 11. That was one of his things. And then,
No way.
oh yeah. And then the
That's
other one was
awesome.
the charter. We got to keep the charter cleaner. So, let's not leave the charter so dirty.
One of the
and
first
then-
teams to have a charter, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
own their own airplane, the Red
Wing
Wings.
1, Red Wing 2.
Yeah. And then the last one was there's a lot of money in the game today. I didn't know this, but he said Gilbert Perreault was kind of the guy that made the most money to start. I think Gilbert Perreault made 375 grand back in the late 70s when he played, or I don't know, it was the early 80s. So he talked about how much money there was in the game. That's what he talked about. And it was the most amazing speech I've ever heard in my life. And of course, if you guys know Randy Burridge, and we went out for a bite to eat after, and I was in camp with Burridge for about just about, I guess, 10 days to 2 weeks. And we laughed every day about it. We still laugh about it. you know what, Scotty, he's done it all. He doesn't need to get up there and bang his fist. There's a couple things he had to say, or a few things he had to say. Then Kenny came in and went scorched earth on everybody. But
So
yeah,
funny.
yeah, it was one of the highlights. And Stevie Y was sitting in front of me with his head in his hands, just like shaking his head. He's like, because Stevie's as intense as they come, right? Listening to this, but
He should maybe think about that speech and
yeah.
listen to that a little bit right now and calm down a little bit.
Well, you know what? You think about, they had Stevie, they had Shanahan, they had Fedorov. I'm not sure if Datsuk or
Lidstrom.
Zetterberg was coming in at that time. Lidstrom.
Draper,
Really,
Maltby,
yeah, and then McCarty,
Osgood. Yeah.
yeah, Osgood, all these guys, and it was really, really kind of cool to be around and participate. And
Eisenbart.
yeah, Izzy played with Izzy in the American League. He was an unbelievable player, and went on to be a great NHL player. So, but hearing Scotty, I thought when Scotty Bowman got up, I was like, "You better sit up straight, and shut up." And then I was listening, and I was like, "What is he talking about?"
2002
That's so
Stanley Cup
funny.
final, Detroit against Carolina. And I don't truly know whether he did this on purpose or whether it was just Scotty owning the moment. But people would, middle of the series, be talking about the power play. And he would start talking about 5-on-4. And 10 minutes later, he's discussing fishing. And you've totally forgot what the question was or what the angle was. And off he goes. And then next question. And he would take everything so far away. And there wouldn't be an obvious turn in it. It would just gradually go from Eisenman on the power play to fishing. And it was brilliant.
Yeah.
He was good. I heard that he used to snap. The only time he used to snap was when planes were leaving, right? Who's Barry? He was apparently called for Barry a lot. Do you know?
Oh, Barry was
Smith?
his assistant coach.
Yeah.
Barry
Is that
Smith,
what it was? The two that I heard, because I actually did a roast for Scotty. I roasted
You did?
Scotty. Yeah, with for Kenny Daniels. And
Yeah.
and he was fun to tease. It was all these old guys, and I said, "Are we doing a roast or a fundraiser for prostate cancer?" Anyways, but he used to apparently call for Barry like when things were going wrong. Like, well, apparently they had turbulence once that was really bad.
And it was Barry's fault.
He yelled out, "Barry, go up there and find out what's going on." That's what's up. And then the other thing that I heard that he had snapped about was once they're in San Jose and you can't leave that airport after a certain time.
Yeah, there's
They went into overtime. He's like, just lost his mind. Well, I guess we're not fucking leaving now. On the bench yelling that out.
That's outstanding. He's a fun dude. I absolutely, and I love talking to Scotty, but every time I do talk to him, I tell myself and remind myself, you're talking to Scotty Bowman. Like
It's insane.
You're in conversation with Scotty Bowman.
When I did that roast, I kept saying this. Look, I'm going to say things, but I can't believe it's Scotty Bowman. I've wanted to be coached by him all my life, and now I'm doing this, and it doesn't make sense. So
you think you
here we go. If I'd been coached by Scotty Bowman, yeah, he would have strapped some Langs to me, and I would have made the NHL. Yeah, remember he used to wear those boots on the ice. Like, how's that guy know hockey? Ski boots out there, holding onto the stick like he's never shot the puck before.
Hockey gloves sometimes. He would just wear like
gloves,
gloves, but like
yeah,
it
was
Lord
insane.
Bagg, you had Langs, so you would have got along perfectly.
No, I didn't have
with
Langs.
Scotty. Did you not have Langs? I thought you had Langs.
I just skated like I had Langs. Thanks for bringing that up, you dick.
If he didn't have those thick ankles, he could have wore Langs and been a better skater.
I had cankles. It was going to keep me out of the league.
Those skates have come back in the Bauer goalie skates with the hinge and the ski boot latches.
Really?
5 years.
Are you wearing
There's
that?
no laces. No, I want to though.
Didn't Wedgwood talk about that? Wedgwood talked
Oh
about that.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Scotty Wedgwood, who's with the Colorado Avalanche now. We've already talked about that out, Millard. Come on.
Well, Bagg couldn't
Even my
remember.
dog's upset about it.
He's like,
Bagg was there and he couldn't remember.
I can't remember though. I was too busy thinking about my
Columbus.
Amazon guy slipping.
and Columbus.
And
Columbus
we talked
of the
about
West.
roasts, and then you, out of the blue, bring up being part of a roast for Scotty Bowman.
I know that was weird, right? I was like, oh, I forgot that I have been in roasts.
It's almost like a mind trick.
It wasn't my trade. It
You're
was,
like,
you know what?
I
It
gotta
wasn't.
get this in.
It wasn't for Scotty Bowman was on the panel, and it was for who works with Kenny, who's Kenny's color guy,
Mickey.
Redmond. It was for Mickey Redmond.
Yeah.
And who else was on the dais?
Well, you were the one there.
I was one.
No, you keep asking us who was there.
Yeah.
Who was
I'm
there,
trying-
and
I'm trying.
No
I'm
idea.
trying to. I'm disappearing. I'm out of here. It was oh my God. I don't forget it. They've all been fired. It was
Well, you're talking
Babcock.
about-
Babcock was one of them.
Okay.
Who else? I don't know.
how many roasts have you participated in?
Probably about 3. They're not my favorite things to do. I'm not interested in trying to
Did
make
you
somebody
know
feel
the
bad.
people that you were roasting? Because
No.
I think that would be a huge difference if you were going to participate and you had some kind of relationship with the person, the center of attention. That'd be.
I would
more
rather
enjoyable.
I would rather have it where I get to have that conversation with them from stage, because I don't roast somebody from stage, but we do learn about them, right? And you want to learn about somebody at a roast. It's just like, who cares about your point of view about them? Let's hear from them. Like,
Hey, how
You
long
kinda
do you
roast
do
people
it?
in your act?
no, I tease them. It's
How
different.
long do
Oh.
you? How long is like when you did Scotty's
stealing
roast? How long were you doing it for?
I had 10 or 15.
Okay.
You
Did
know
they
who else
flash
was
the
on?
light at the back? Did they flash the light like you're done?
No,
You don't flash the light at Lord Bagg because he'll
I
go
tell
on
them,
for
put it away, put
Yeah.
it away.
take the batteries out of the light or unplug it because he is not responding. Does
It
not
was
respond to that.
2020 when I did it, just before the pandemic happened. That's when I did that. And I remember that. That was a lot of fun when we had that. But yeah, Babcock was there. I made fun of his merchandise, Bab socks. I told him he should sell condoms, Babcocks.
Did you say that?
Yeah. I remember him coming up to me and goes, "Hey, Bagg, you're a big bitch, aren't you?" And I just laughed at him. I said, "Hey, you're tiny, aren't you, Babcock?"
Who would you like to roast?
Who do I like to roast?
No, like who would you like to roast? Is there somebody that
No, nobody. Nobody.
you could have some fun with? Like not be mean, but tease and where you'd go, I got some good stuff here.
I got some good stuff. I don't know.
A
I really don't know.
or-
Oh, I did. So
Celebrity
one of
or-
them. So one of them was for. Why am I blanking on some of these names? The one I did another one for
'cause you're up
Kenny.
so early.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Who's the Swede defenseman that was a stud?
Nick Lidstrom.
Lidstrom.
Nick Lidstrom. I
Did
did
we not
one
already bring his name up?
today.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sharples.
with training camp. Yeah.
I didn't hear it. I was too busy hearing Iserbart and Iserman. I was just like, wow, how did that happen? Iserbart and Iserman. I was just like, whoa, it's kind of like, oh, wow. It's very meta for me.
I'm not gonna lie. When I was rattling off names there, I was trying to come up with random names from that era of the Detroit Red Wings to see Sharple's reaction, because it's cool when you hear names of teammates from the past.
I don't even know where Izzy is anymore. Well, we know where Steve Iserman is, but we don't. I don't know where Izzy is. Iserbart, because
He's general manager of a lacrosse team. That's how their lives kind of are.
Was Iserbart Izzy and Iserman was Stevie?
Stevie. Yeah.
You didn't call him
then
Bart?
Spuddy, or and then I don't know if Spuddy was still there then. He might have been Gallant, and so yeah. But
See, every time people call him Spuddy, I'm like, because I know him as Turk.
Yeah.
Big
Well, like,
Turk,
you know
because he
what?
loved that chocolate bar.
Like Ryan McGill said to me one time, Sharps, would you rather be called Spuddy or be called Turk? It's like, okay, good point. Turk should probably.
Spuddy's pretty cool though.
It's a great nickname for him. So
I think the Turk thing was because he had trouble as a kid saying the word turkey, so they called him Turk. Like he said
I'd be called
turkey.
Spuddy. I'd rather be called Spuddy than if they're making
Okay,
fun of
we're gonna.
if they're
You have a
making fun of my
impediment,
speech impediment.
so we're gonna give you a nickname.
Yeah, I
That's
think
an ultimate roast.
Doug McLean told me that, so I'll have to.
Hey, Lispy, come over here.
Well,
I remember a
that name
guy.
goes
I
way
remember a
back.
guy during the pandemic heckling me, and he had a major like speech impediment, and spit was flying everywhere. And I'm like, man, if anybody should not be talking during the pandemic, it's the guy with spit flying out of his mouth. I was like, can you put it away, sir? That is
What
a
was his
deadly
reaction?
weapon in these times. He just shut up, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you ever get people mad at you and approach you after if you
Yeah.
tease them too much?
Back in the day, I remember I dealt with some things. I remember a lady threw a glass at me in New York, and another guy threw a glass at me, and
What?
yeah, it was in Dallas. Was it in Dallas? Yeah, it was in Dallas. Yeah, Dallas in
Really?
and this guy stood up, and he was massive, massive black guy, just jacked, and he just whipped a rock glass at me. And I could see it coming, and I just kind of stepped aside, and it hit the brick wall behind me, and it didn't break, and it just fell to the ground. And people teased him about that. But I heard some lady go, "Tss, can't even break it. Can't even break it on a brick wall," right?
Did you say that?
No, that's what the lady said. I said, oh man, I said, less shoulders, more squats. That's what I said to him, right?
So you doubled down.
I doubled down. Right? Yeah, I always double down. I'm like, okay, here we go. And he ran out of the building, and I'm like, oh God, this is the night I die. He's going to the car to get a gun. I guarantee it. And he left his date. He left his date there, took off, and drove away.
Did you move in?
Of course I did. I'm like, hey, baby. I'm like, hey, baby. Anyways, her name is Carrie Ann. But I said, what kind of car did he drive away? And this guy said a Porsche. And I go, what color? And they said purple. And I go, oh my God, he can't even get the color car he wants. Who buys a purple Porsche? That poor guy got the last one.
You're
Serious question.
much nicer though now, taking people down than you used to be.
Yeah.
Right. Like you do it, you still take them down, but everybody's usually like, I can't believe some of the stuff you say to people, and they're first in line to get a picture with you after. So you've rounded off the edges of your takedowns.
Yeah, I just, before and I don't know if this would have happened if I had been younger, when maybe I found some success, whereas I don't take it as serious. Whereas when you're starting out, you're like, fuck, this could fuck up my career. Excuse my language. I know we don't usually swear on this. So you're all testosteroned up, and you're ready to go with the person because you think they're gonna ruin what you have. Whereas now I'm just like, you can't ruin anything I have. There's only one
you're too
person that could
big.
ruin what I have. Yeah, no, yeah, I'm
Pearl.
I got a French bulldog that'll fucking bite you right on the butt. No, it's not that I'm too big. It's I will always find my audience, right? That's the thing about when I hear about people being canceled, nobody gets canceled. They just shift audiences.
People
So
get canceled.
nope, they may disappear for a couple months, but they are back. The only person that has fallen and never been able to get back up, Billy Bush, the guy from Inside Edition or whatever. It's amazing that that guy has not been able to recover. Everybody else has. His career is dead, and it's so bizarre. Like if you go into your encyclopedias and you find out people that have been canceled,
That's how brilliant you are. You just took that back.
It took him a
That's
while,
a
but he
that,
took you down even harder. That was well done.
that
Yeah.
was really, really
But that's
well done.
that's kind I don't know if that's roasting, but that's the kind of fun I like to have right there. Like, teasing each other, like all of a
But your
sudden
audience also comes.
surprising with you something.
People know you enough now that people come wanting to be part of your show.
They want to be part of it, and I get a big group that brings friends because they want to see how their friends react to it.
Mm.
So they're like, I want you to, I have no idea who this guy is. I'll just come with us. And they'll come and they'll watch their friends all night while it's happening. Because I don't know, the show to me, from what I can see and what people tell me, the show doesn't stop. It just keeps moving. And that's what people enjoy about it. Like we're not going to stick on one story, right? If we find a dead end, we're off to find another way out of this maze immediately, right? So it doesn't sit, you know.
Well, the other thing is the show moves fast and and give John some credit for kind of getting things started with you. Like you
Nope.
guys
John's
are
really
like a
good.
team, right? So
Nope.
and then you come out.
Nope.
Did you say no? No.
Yeah,
No,
nope.
it's
Nope.
all Ian.
Who's this
I'm trying to
John?
get some love for John today, but
I
it
love
does
it.
it
Hey,
does
Jeff,
move
this is about
fast.
me.
Yeah. Oh, I know. And I was spent last night with a guy that was all about him. So now I'm spending today with both of them. But yeah. So, but it moves fast, right? Like
John is actually he's perfect for me. He's really funny. He's smart. He got if you notice, there's a little bit of edge to what he's talking about, right? And then I go further with the edge. So it's pretty great.
You guys got sharp elbows.
Sharp elbows, and we keep them up high.
I'm looking forward to your shows in Vegas next month.
Me too.
We're thinking about bringing our oldest daughter,
Ooh.
high school senior.
Oh.
She's been exposed to some. I took her to a Sean Manjumder show maybe
Sean's awesome.
6 years ago.
Oh, she's seen
and
Sean.
I was expecting something a little tamer.
Tamer.
Riddles.
Not tame. And people were looking at me going, how did you bring your kid to this?
That's actually my aunt.
Yeah. So she's heard it all. So we're thinking about bringing her to.
Yeah, let me know. Yeah. Sean's awesome. If you don't know Sean, he was what outdoor game was it?
That was the very first one.
Was it the very first one?
It wasn't even a winter classic. It was just the outdoor game, Montreal against Edmonton at Commonwealth Stadium when it was so cold. They almost
Were you
canceled
there for that? Were you there? You and
it.
Sean?
No, I was in New York covering the Rangers game because Marc Messier played in the alumni game in Edmonton and then came back and played in a regular season NHL game as captain of the New York Rangers the next day.
That's
One of the craziest.
Best. That guy's the best.
funny.
Yeah.
But Sean was on This Hour Has 22 Minutes, right?
Yes.
And he did a character that was kind of Ali G-esque. And he would go out and interview mostly sports guys, right? And ask all sorts of weird questions. And he's Indian background. And he went to the Winter Classic and somehow he snuck into the team photos, right? Or not Winter Classic.
On the ice, in his skates, in the team photo, the Montreal Canadiens Edmonton Oilers team photo.
He's in it and people lost their shit, right?
Went crazy upset that Manjumner got in that. Like, lost their minds over a guy sneaking into a team picture.
Like, who is that? Why is he there?
One of the greatest overreactions of all time.
Very Canadian. Like the whole country's falling apart, but they're concerned. They're concerned about who's sneaking into the Edmonton Calgary picture.
And I still have not got the explanation from Sean how it happened. Like
he said he just said he just kind of just kept moving and just went down there, and next thing you know, he was in it.
In his gear, like walking around.
Yeah. Was he in his gear or was he in his outfit that he does the interviews in?
I
because I
thought he
think
was
that
in his gear,
I
but
think he's in the outfit that he does the interviews in, and it was traditional Indian garb, wasn't it? Like almost dressed like Gandhi, from what I remember. Because he did who was the Indian golfer? Singh.
yeah, VJ
Yeah, I guess he interviewed him, and he was
sweating
fired.
and yeah,
Yeah,
like it was funny.
yeah. So, and Majunder's a very funny comedian, and also just a great guy. Just a great guy. I remember once this
East
is
Coaster,
about
Newfoundland,
New
loves.
no Nova Scotia. Is he from Newfoundland or Nova Scotia?
He lives in Newfoundland.
He
They
lives in
own they own
Newfoundland
some
now.
property. Yeah, they own some property out there. He very gives back to his the community where he grew up, and yeah, really he was on remember 24 with
He's been
Kiefer
on a
Sutherland.
ton of things. He's
Yeah,
been on a ton. We did a movie together about golf. I remember he was in that. But he was living down here, him and his wife, but we never ran into each other. But we also did during the lockout one year, we raised money. I think Burke put something together, and we played 3 games of hockey with everybody that was basically on strike during the lockout
oh yeah.
in Vancouver, two in Vancouver and one in in Whistler. And he was in the one game. He had the gold helmet from Europe. He was skating around in the
Oh,
gold
for
helmet.
the leading scorer of the team.
Yeah, it was pretty
That's a
funny.
great
But,
idea.
but
I kind of wish NHL would do that.
it's for the league though, right? It's for the whole league.
Yes.
You wear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it would be fantastic. The helmet just keeps getting passed around the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You find out the McKinnon had 4 assists and Kucherov loses the gold helmet.
Halfway through the game because it's the East Coast versus the West Coast game.
That's pretty
Uh,
funny.
Also, you should need one for penalty minutes too, just like one that's kind of got white but like dripping blood on it.
Nobody takes penalties anymore.
Oh, you look at how mad you are about it. Let's check your
Well,
encyclopedia and see when the last penalty was
I
taken.
don't know whether I'm allowed to say. I'll say it anyway. Uh, I, Philadelphia was at T-Mobile Arena the other night, and playing Vegas, and right in front of me there was a couple of Flyer fans. One had a Lindros shirt on, the other one had a Talkit sweater. So I sent Rick a picture of it and said, "You're well represented here," and he sent back a note. Is there blood on it? And
That's funny.
I'm not sure whether he meant like that. If there's blood on it, it's game worn, or because you're a visiting fan, you might, because some
Yeah,
arenas, Boston or Philly, like you might get challenged there. But it's funny. His first reaction is there blood on it? There's
that's
a guy's
funny.
top 10 in penalty minutes.
Surprised Talker didn't send back. Does it need blood on it?
I love that guy.
Did you see? I think it was when did Toronto and Philadelphia play? Was that the last couple days?
Yes,
So there's Toronto fans in Philadelphia, and just like
last night
taunting
they played.
after the game. They're taunting the Philadelphia fans, and one guy walked down and punched 2 in the head, Philadelphia fan, which is funny to me because I remember when I went to a game in Philadelphia, there was 2 guys in front of me, and they are wearing their jerseys with turtlenecks. And I was like, my God, this is not the Philadelphia I'd always heard about.
So the Flyer fan last night punched the Toronto fan.
Yeah. Yeah. I seen a
Yeah.
clip of it someplace this morning at
You don't mess
5:45.
around. Boston, Philly, you do not mess around with the
You,
hometown fans.
yeah.
I would not wear the
Boston,
opposition jersey in those rinks.
I would not. Boston, I went to an afternoon game. I've never seen so many drunk people in my life. It was amazing. It was a Sunday afternoon game, so they had their kids and they were hammered. And like when they bring out the t-shirt guns and they're shooting t-shirts in the air, people are hanging their kids over the railings trying to get free t-shirts. It was crazy. Like those people don't give a fuck.
Remember the guy in Philadelphia that fell into the penalty box when
Yeah.
Ty Domi squirted him with water? Now that was all Ty's fault, but the guy didn't hold back. He jumped in. He was coming whether that glass gave way or not.
Yeah, he was coming in, right? Yeah, he was coming. Where was the Nordiques when the guy got on the ice and was running to the bench? Do you remember that?
Well, there's Buffalo. A guy ran onto the bench and Rob Ray beat up the fan. And then there was one where the fan was running towards the net and the linesman, Ron Asseltine, decked the fan.
You know what? It might be. It might be Buffalo, and they're in at Quebec City. That might be
Might be
where it
that,
happened.
yeah.
So, but there's an interview afterwards, and he beat the hell out of him, right?
Oh yeah, like on one
And
side of the bench, I saw Razor two nights ago, 3 nights ago, and the fan is on the ice and Ray's on the bench and just feeding him.
and he's a rag doll. The guy's a rag doll, like nowhere, like, and just still punching him. And they asked him afterwards why he punched him so many times. He goes, "You just never know when a guy's gonna snap." Right? The guys just kept beating the hell out of him. Oh, I love it. So we are a hockey podcast.
We are. We get to it.
I love it. By the way, this is our first one of the year. We should wish everybody a happy 2025. Oh my
And if
goodness.
I don't see you, happy all the best in 2028. If I don't see you.
You'd be reading your encyclopedias.
I was going to say, the podcast comes in with his encyclopedias every 5 years. He does some podcast. Oh my God. Do you guys do the do you do New Year's resolutions?
Yeah.
You do? Jeff?
I pledged to be a better doggy dad this year. Like
Oh,
more walks More walks
concerns
for
me
the-
about that.
for the fellas.
He's only got cats. That's the terrifying.
That's exactly it. And a bird.
I don't have a
Do you have a bird?
No. I have a guinea
Oh.
pig.
No way.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I
3
want one of
dogs.
those. I want a hedgehog.
The guinea pig is I like having the guinea pig. It was for my daughter. She took care of it for maybe 3 days, and now Cookie lives in my room.
No way.
Oh yeah.
Just goes in the middle of the night into his daughter's room. This will be mine from now on.
No, just
3 days in. I
Wouldn't be
love this.
alive. She's like, what do you mean I have to check for water every week?
Oh,
What
that's
do you mean
being a
it
kid.
eats every day?
What do you mean it's the same as me? I don't
Yeah.
understand this thing you call life.
So I
Yeah.
pledge to be a better doggy dad this year.
Nice.
I'm not saying it's the greatest resolution, but I would like to be.
It's a resolution. I don't really go with resolutions. After 2020, I would just kind of go, life is going to be what it is next year. If it's hopefully it'll continue on the same as this year.
Really? So you just like,
I don't remember 2020. Everybody's like, this is going to be the greatest year ever. Nothing's going to stop us. And then boom, all life broke out.
I like
So
the
I'm-
year 2000 when everybody thought the world was going to end. So you know how many
Y2K.
people did stuff that they're like, it doesn't matter. And then
Yeah.
it did matter.
Yeah. Yeah. We're all going to be dead. Oh, hello,
Oh,
boss.
about that thing that I did.
I took a gig in North Dakota because I was like, oh, I'm going to be away from everything as everything goes awry, right? And while I'm there, everybody goes, this is where all the nuclear bombs are. So
Yes.
if everything, yeah, I'm like, oh, worst gig ever.
In Minot.
Yeah. So I'm like,
Good
what a
time of year to
dummy.
be there.
Oh, it's freezing. I remember I had the flu and I had to do 4 shows on New Year's Eve. So I would go on stage, go puke, go back on stage, go puke, go back on stage, go puke, go back on stage, and then just cried for a day.
COVID had nothing on you.
No, I brought things in. Y2K. We didn't even have.
Norovirus.
Yeah, we didn't. That's going around right now. Everybody's my wife goes, norovirus is going around, so make sure you wash your hands and don't be too close to people when you're taking photos with them. I go, that is that the flu where everybody's complaining about the lungs? She goes, non-stop puking and shitting. So be careful.
Now, is she saying that
Non-stop.
because she cares about you and doesn't want you to get it, or she knows if you get it, she's gonna get it?
Yeah, she just knows there's going to be trouble. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does like, I don't want the mess. I don't want anybody being sick. And she's just started her internship for finishing up her doctorate.
No way.
And yeah, so she's
Oh,
got,
congratulations.
yeah, she did her white coat in December, and now she's doing her internship here for 6 weeks, and then she's got one on the East Coast for 6 weeks as well. So
Well, she'll
Yeah.
enjoy that part.
yeah. She's actually going to turn it into 4 months on the East Coast. That's what's funny about it. She goes, well, it's ending in July, so I'm going to stay until September. I'm like, all right, I'll try to figure it. And then she tried to buy a house the other day, and I was like, hey, let's pick a side here. You're not going to buy a house and then suddenly just leave for 4 months. This is me and the dogs trying to figure it out. I don't know. Where does the fridge go?
What's that thing do over there?
Yeah. Why has it got a clock on it? I
Hi,
love it.
Jeff.
Hey, I feel like we do a stat where like when doing a game when this team hasn't had a shot for 12 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
That's my stat today.
This team hasn't tried to shoot.
No, I just let you two go. I mean,
No.
two guys that talk for a living, and I'm telling you what, I love it.
I guarantee
I
your
just let
mom's
you two
watching.
go.
I guarantee your mom's watching going, shoot.
So we're doing
She's
the we're doing the game last night.
Actually, the game was up. The game last night was, I think it was on Sportsnet West. So Mom got to watch the game last night in the intermission. So that was kind of
No
fun.
way.
Yep.
We're doing the game, and Sharples, if we did everything Sharples wanted to talk about, we would still be on the air right now doing the post game. Like, he watches so intensely and jots. It's good that you jot things down, but
He's a note taker.
the every little nuance of the game, it's like, we should talk about that. We should talk about that. I love it. It's wildly informative for me. I learned so much watching a game with Jeff Sharples.
All right.
When
When
my wife
here comes the
first
roast.
met him,
No, I
This is
do.
this is not a roast either, Jeff. When Carrie Ann first met you, she asked why you weren't on TV. She goes, he knows when the game would come on, she goes, like, he knows everything about that game. And he's just so good at it. He just talks about it. So, anyways,
Yes,
yeah,
I agree. I agree with
So-
him.
Well, there's little subtleties.
we took our time. We got him there.
No, you got me. Yeah, I finally got a shot. No, I think one of the things in this market here in Vegas, right? Wasn't known as a hockey market, but people in any market want to hear good things about their team, and there's a lot of good things to talk about here always because the team's been so successful. But little things that I see that make the game so much easier for guys' teammates is what you appreciate. And you know, just while I'm watching, it doesn't have to be the Golden Knights. It could be another team that I'm watching on TV. You just appreciate little things. And so you kind of like, wow, like that's a special player. That's a special move. No one might see, or, their teammates will see it and people in the organization will see it, but maybe people watching at home won't. So that's why I jot a lot of stuff down. But Mallard's constantly talking to the producers. So we can't get it all in.
You know what? Our friend Vin DeFrisco used to say to me, there's nobody better to watch a hockey game with than Jeff. He sees everything that you don't. And it's true. And you know what, Jeff, he actually said there's actually only one person to watch a hockey game with that's better, and that was Jeff's dad.
Really?
Yeah. My dad was amazing. And but yeah, I'm obviously a little not quite the same person, but he well, yeah, like as far as the way I look at things, but I give him credit for being able to, we have access now to stuff like not just hockey, everything, but he was way ahead of his time in the way he coached and the way he looked at the game, and we had a lot of success as young kids, right? So but yeah, it was
I can't
fun.
I can't imagine what your dad's life would have been like with this access to hockey. Oh my God. Like he would have been up later than me watching hockey.
Well, he was the president of Terrace Minor Hockey, volunteered. That's what, good community guy, right? But he just knew that we had to get exposure to other teams, just kind of going down a different path here, but exposure to other teams like down in Vancouver, Prince George, the Okanagan Valley, because you think you're pretty good where you are, and then you go and play someone else who is is pretty darn good too, or maybe better. So he was really good when there weren't a lot of resources out there of finding resources. Now resources are, you get on your phone, or there's a lot of ways to find out and get resources for young people that want to get into the game now. So I just look and we kind of went off talking about, the Knights or the NHL,
Well,
but I think one of the things that, and we see it with the World Juniors. I mean, we didn't really talk about that, but USA Hockey has tapped into resources to help develop their kids, won their second gold in a row. And I think Canada, which, the three of us are originally from, need to find a way to tap into resources for the kids that, are in the Canadian minor hockey system. So kind of went all over the place there, but
I loved it.
I
Millard, has
think
he ever told you about his resume for minor hockey?
No.
Have you, Jeff, you've never told him about? So he was on a team that won provincials when they're in Pee-wee, Bantam, and Midget.
Did you go to the Purelator Cup?
we went to the Purelator and the Air Canada Cup.
Check that.
No
Check,
way.
like serious.
It's funny.
That's
him and
amazing.
him and a group of guys did that every second year for 6 years. And all of them played junior hockey at very
Except
least,
one.
except for one guy. It would have been me, but I wasn't on the team. But he would.
If you'd have showed up, you could have made it.
Why aren't you part of that team?
Because I was younger.
Oh, are you?
Well, that's what we say. We say he was younger.
I thought you guys were the same age.
We're twins.
Twins. Yeah.
Twins minus 4 years.
Episode 42.
4 years.
The twins.
I took them down there. See, that's all we heard in that.
I
4
love
years.
it. Yeah, we're
4
twins.
years? There's no way in 4 years. You jerk.
He loved it. He loved it when the guy called us twins, and now he's regretting it. He's like, maybe
I'm older.
Said that. But
I loved it. I still love it. But
You
but
should get
seriously,
T-shirts, Orange Slices Twins with your,
Orange
with
Slices.
your pictures.
twins and Millard.
and yep.
But tell him about that team. Like, it's insane. This record that these kids had. Like, there were how many of you? There were like 16 of you.
Yeah,
basically?
I mean, 1 year was 14. 1 year when we went to the Purelator, we had 14 kids come out and try out for the team because we were a small town, right? And then
14 kids tried out.
Yeah. Yeah, if you came
What?
out, you pretty much made the team. But
And
you
you
got to
went
think
to
about it.
Purelator Cup?
Yes.
Yeah, in Kelowna. Yeah.
I remember trying to get to the Purelator Cup, and we could never get there, and we had a good team.
Yeah. Well, we had
They
some
had 14
guys.
kids try out.
14 kids try out.
Yeah.
Wow.
We had 14 kids. Well, Flats was our goalie, right? Wade Flaherty was our goalie. And we talk about Trevor Hendry, who is, I think, the best they call him U12, U14, U16. Now he probably would have been the best U14 or one of them in Canada. And then we had other guys too. And then, but on the Air Canada Cup team,
We had other guys. Don't rember their names.
no,
But we had other guys.
we had other guys, but I just think of guys that went on to play in the NHL: Rudy Pocek, Dale Kushner,
Oh, yeah.
Flats, myself, and am I missing someone? I for some reason. But then we also had guys that went and played junior at a really high level, like we're really, really good players. Terry Zaprzan, Mario Desjardins. Probably forgetting a couple guys. And so
There's only 14 of them.
I know,
Yeah.
but that was on the Air Canada Cup team. But these, I'm sure I'm missing someone off this, and they're going to give me hell about it. But to have that many kids from a
Badge
small town,
was Badge on that.
Badge was there, Philpott. We got a bunch of guys that went on to play junior hockey, right? Like junior A tier 2, junior A tier 1, Canadian University. So that was a freak of nature, right? That those kids all being in the same town.
But that was because of his dad.
Well, but we also exactly, like, he kind of realized, hey, I got to work harder to find a way to motivate these kids. And then we had other dads come in and help, obviously, and parents, like you always do. But we were doing dryland training. Like, we were doing stuff that was kind of out of the box way back then, maybe happening in the bigger communities. But I mean, we didn't know anything. And, it was in a small town. We got to Vancouver. We're like, wow, that was crazy. So pretty successful. But just to build. It was a grassroots kind of development, which was a lot of fun. And that's probably why, I know that's why I'm sitting here today. I mean, being able to talk and sit beside Mallard on the desk because of that. And it starts with a lot of the people that you're surrounded by as a kid sometimes, or when you get a little older.
I don't get a chance to converse with you while we're watching the game enough because I am talking to producer Taylor and plotting out our strategy for the intermissions. But you do tell me what's going on. Like you see something and you voice it, and I hear that and try to save it for later to digest it. And it's cool watching a sport that you think with somebody who is so dialed in as you are, because it's fun to learn. It's fun.
It's embarrassing
to learn. Well, no, I think you could look at it as, geez.
Well, for me,
I
like
know nothing, but I appreciate it because I get to learn something.
right. Because you're at the top of your game, and then this guy comes in and has all this
like
knowledge
I know the
that
game
it
as
gives
good as
you.
anybody, and
Yeah.
I don't.
You should try being me. I have to watch games. I have to watch games with him. I'm like, I saw none of that, and I was
You're on
staring
your
at the
phone,
TV
though.
with you. No, I'm not. Just shut it. I will.
Yeah,
I'm on my
but
encyclopedia, and it's tough to flip the pages sometimes.
But you talk to guys
It was
that do
weird
it every
paper on the
day.
encyclopedias. Weird paper.
Yeah.
But
just like lead.
you can. I mean, I think everyone that watches a game can have an opinion, but one of the things that is very humbling about a lot of this is how hard the guys work that are playing the games, right? But how hard the coaches and the people behind the scenes work. Like I'll give you an
That's not
example.
what we're talking about, Jeff.
I know, but I'm just
We're
saying,
talking
like,
about you watching
I
the
agree,
game.
but
Nice try
I also
to
no.
deflect. Nice
I mean,
try to
no, I'm not
deflect.
deflecting. I'm just saying
Full deflection.
I
Full
like to
deflection.
watch the
Pavelski
game
right
and
now. You're
okay.
tipping it. You're deflecting it.
Into the
I'm
stands,
trying to
get
save
out
it,
of the,
but I'm
trying to
just
get a
saying,
whistle.
like, it's great to talk about. I have an opinion, and I think I try and see things and try and see it through the player's eyes of how the game's going. But I also look and I go, well, you know what? Uh, the work that's going on to help these players prepare and the rest of it is, I guess I'm just saying that it's not like I feel I'm an enthusiast. I don't feel like I'm anything that there's a lot of other people out there that in the hockey world that are brilliant, and I just try and connect. And so there's my New Year's: connect with people and try and learn more about them. And I'll give you an example. Yesterday, Mallard and I came in, and I met Bobby Lowe's, and who's head scout for the VGK, and talked and internet encyclopedia. He was amazing, and I was just like, I could have talked to him for 2 or 3 hours just about kids in their system, about players that they have, just so I can. I'm not trying to get any NDA stuff from anybody. I'm just trying to learn more about it.
But you're
Because if I'm
curious.
going to go on and talk about it, I need to do as much research and try and reach out to as many people as I can, beyond just sitting in the stands at T-Mobile and watching, or going to practice, or watching on TV. There you go.
Yeah, but you would do that even if you weren't going on TV and talking about that. You would be having that exact same conversation with that guy because
you're absolutely right, Bagger.
You love the game. Like if we cut you open, an ice rink falls out of you.
Let's try it.
The backyard at Flaherty's house. I mean,
Yeah.
that's thanks to Ray Flaherty for that. But no, I talked to guys around the league, and like Bobby Lowe's. I mean, I know who he is, and he's been in the game for a long time. That was just someone I'd never met before. I know how hard guys work. Like I talked to like Ryan McGill's in New Jersey, or Doug Huda in San Jose, or Jamie Heward is coaching with, and Ryan Craig, who coach the Silver Knights. Just listening to these guys, or Tim Speltz, the general manager. I talked to talking about the Air Canada Cup. Bob Strum, my old GM here. I talked to him. These are guys that watch, like I watch hockey. These are guys that live it and breathe it. And so, I just don't want to put myself in a position where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm still learning just like the rest of us.
Well, that's smart, but at the same time, your nephew is right. You can drop a name.
I did. I dropped some names there. Kaylin will be like, "Hey, do you know anyone in Calgary?" And I got to think if I know anyone in Calgary. But
That's awesome.
I'm
My buddy
amazed at
Darren
the
Pang
people.
always says, Wayne Gretzky told me, never name drop.
Never name drop.
Hey, and then you get on me. Here's another one I love. Mallard, there's 3 things that he hates. Okay.
Who, me?
Yeah, you Christmas music,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
dropping
don't. I
someone's
like Christmas music. I
dropping.
just don't
Hang
want it
on,
early.
hang
don't want
on,
it early.
Hang on.
24th and 25th, then it's done.
Hey, don't talk to him. He hates Christmas music. He hates when you drop a nickname or somebody drop a name like EK65. He's all over me. And so he was on someone yesterday about dropping a nickname on the radio show and he wouldn't let it go. And then the other thing he hates is when we're going to play a clip and it doesn't quite go according to plan. His head spun off last night. So I get the last one because he's such a perfectionist, but the other 2 make me kind of laugh.
Has
I
the
am
way
particular.
the way you guys produce that show changed from like what happened last night was there was some sort of technical issue.
Yeah, the
How
games
often
out of San Jose are really challenging from
is
a
just San Jose?
production. Yeah, from that rink. So it's
Really?
really
And
challenging.
they're
Yeah.
owned by a computer company, so you think the internet would be fantastic and that they'd have the top of the line kind of equipment going on in there for you guys to use.
Yeah, it's just a challenge. Okay.
It's only the tech capital of the
Okay.
world,
Okay.
right? So you
Okay.
could see why they'd have a problem.
I don't know where else to go with it.
challenge. It's just a
It's
challenge,
like
okay?
cameras were going down and there was lip sync issues, like, and it's so hard on the crew, and you feel like you're chasing your tail all night, and so sometimes things don't happen. And
You
if
guys did great. I watched that game last
I
night.
thought I was
You guys,
fantastic.
you were everybody was great.
You're always fantastic though. But when the camera came onto us and the clip didn't, the end of the Zach
When
Whitecloud interview got cut in
Yeah,
half, and we looked like 2 deer in headlights. I was
you
like,
guys were funny. And here
Well,
we go.
you don't know you're coming on camera. You are going to, if imagine spending the whole night, and I got to fly to do a VGK thing here, but imagine spending the whole night just
We gotta
staring at
wrap
the
this up.
camera in case you came on camera.
That's so funny because I was expecting Jeff to have a coffee in his hand or something when they flew back from that. It was just pulled out, just one of these of you
Well, he
guys.
went and got 16 things of water last night, so
Oh.
he would have had it. I do have to go do some.
We got to get out. Let's just do a
I
shout
do.
out. Let's do a shout out and get out because we've done an hour and a half, which
Okay.
is we usually do a 40-minute show. So happy New Year to everybody. Shout outs quick, everybody.
Taylor
Millard.
Quellman, our producer.
Who?
Taylor Quellman, our producer, who showed the Jack Eichel Michigan attempt last night on the post game show. Actually, we did. He made sure we got it, but we blamed him because now kids across the Las Vegas Valley are all going to be trying the Michigan all day.
Yeah.
All day.
I'll shout out our buddy Busky. It's his birthday.
Oh yeah.
Happy birthday to 77, Rod Buskus. Just went out with him for breakfast yesterday, looking great, like he could still play. So a little shout out to my buddy, my old D partner, Busky, and we'll be getting together, celebrate some more tonight.
All right. I'm gonna give a shout out to Jeff's dad for creating that whole minor hockey system basically that goes on in Terrace and the way the game is looked at different.
Dynasty.
That dynasty, and also created this kid that goes on TV with you a couple times a month, and it's fantastic. So big shout out to the Sharp, to his mom too. His mom loves the game just as much. You got to watch the game with his mom as well.
She gets fired up, boy.
He gets fired. If you want an angry hockey mom, you get that one in going. She's only 5'2". She'll take you down, no problems. Anyways.
And I do love watching and doing games with Jeff because it's what we're doing on the air is the same thing we're doing off the air. We're just talking hockey.
I love it.
Yep. All right.
Thanks, boys.
Love to all.